Evolution of a Nobody, Book 2. Chapters 24 and 25, sealed in silence. Yes. The two insisted, and as Lisa sat back in the chair, they leaned toward her. We do, they added. Why? Lisa asked. The knowledge gave her confidence enough that she crossed her arms, pulling away from the blonde girl's touch, and looked straight at both of them. The smell of hot skewers of cooked shrimp wrapped in bacon and coated with cheese wafted into her nose. She inhaled the succulent scent that threatened to distract her. I should have eaten before coming here, she thought as her stomach growled. If I could have, that is. At least the queasiness is gone. Because we're not from this world. We've been trying to learn as much of it as possible, but... Liala sighed and hung her head. It's so complicated. Not like home. So, aren't you both from hell? I mean, haven't you been, tormenting humanity for thousands of years or something? It seems like you should know something about us by now, Lisa insisted, and then snapped her jaw shut. Did I go too far? She wondered when they answered with silence. The dark-haired Raziel reached up to her eyes and removed her contacts, exposing the vibrant red of her nature. That's nonsense. Who said we were from hell? Or even that we're both demons? Raz, is this a good idea? Liala asked, closing her hands together on the table. Truth for truth, Raziel remarked and waved the question aside. We want to know what to expect out there, and based on everything I've seen, at best Albert will have a skewed outlook. Besides, I can always drop this one off at home, from 1,000 feet up, if she responds badly. Raziel propped her head up on the table with one arm. Dispel, she said, and her illusion faded away to reveal the ink-black leather wings of her back and the sharp-pointed horns sprouting from her head. Go on, show her. You'd better be right about this, Liala said without looking directly at either one of them. Dispel, she said, and while the golden hair remained, as did the lightly tanned skin, pure white wings came into view on her back. I'm surprised you didn't think I was familiar when you saw me. Not much change from the first time we met, except for the wings. My angel, you, Lisa asked and began to tremble. But, she said, a sister, We are sisters. We were raised together on another world. Albert never summoned us. We came here entirely by accident. Our names are Liala and Raziel Camilla. That's the name of the orphanage we were raised in, and where we learned the magic that brought us here and trapped us. So, no summoning, Lisa stammered. No. And no orgies. Pervert girl, Raziel said with a smirk, then tapped her little red nose. So, you lied to me? Lisa asked, clinging to the first question she could think of and focusing on the radiant, golden-haired angel. Yes and no. I went to help you. Because despite my sister's view, I knew you couldn't be all bad. Liala insisted, her wings trembling a little behind her, wafting a soft breeze and a lilac-like scent toward Lisa. Now I need your help, not for me, but for your friend. Will you do it? Tell us what we need to know. Who she should recognize and what to expect. Liala stretched out her hand again and rubbed a thumb just below Lisa's eyes where a tear was already starting to form. Show me I wasn't wrong about you. I stole from him, his money. I gave it back, but still, and I did all those things. Abandoned him. Stood by while he got beaten up. A lot. I guess I can't be mad I got lied to. Lisa put both arms on the table and buried her face into her palms. I'm sorry, she said as she wept into her palms. I was jealous at first. Things went so well for him. Then after all that hype, being popular, it was the only way I could feel good about myself. Then after everything went bad, I didn't want to give up what I'd gotten. I'm sorry. So are you helping us, or are you going to embark on your little journey of self-discovery here? Raziel said, and began drumming her talons on the table. Raz! Liala snapped, and rising from her seat, she wrapped her arms and wings around the weeping girl. I'll tell you everything I can, not because you're threatening me either, Lisa asserted, and the sisters waited in silence for Lisa to continue. Albert's eyes fluttered open, and he put a hand to his head. Dreams, right, she was in there, my head, from childhood. He muttered and stared up at the ceiling. He looked at the faded white, I need to paint, he thought, and then put his forearm over his eyes, briefly shrouding himself in darkness again. Wait, why did she stop so soon? Shouldn't Mom's life in the last couple of years be relevant to impersonating her? The question lingered on his mind. and might have gone on, but when he began to stretch out while on his mattress, he heard the sound of another voice. "Lisa?" He wondered if he was right. It seemed unlikely. Even if she is trying to make things up to me, Raz or Leala must have asked her to come. Or if it was Raziel, more likely threatened her into coming. He rolled his eyes. The demoness was a little over the top in her hatred for Lisa, but it was hard to blame her. He slung his legs off the side of the bed and stood up, stretching his arms out overhead. Close to the door when he grabbed the knob, he stopped dead and listened. "So, yeah, Mrs. Lamarck was pretty broken up after she lost her job. It was bad. I mean, I guess she had enough to live on for a while. I used to see her around sometimes, then I just stopped. I didn't see her anymore. No way she was going to be working in this town. I figured she went out of state and just sends money home now and then. But Albert talks like she still lives here. Probably not, though, huh? No way that helicopter mom wouldn't notice you two living here, no matter how well Albert hides it. I thought you could just vanish because you were summons, but if not... No, she must be gone, and that's why you're asking what you are." "That's absurd. Ridiculous nonsense. Obvious nonsense. My mom is here, and she's just asleep and working hard, and she sleeps a lot," he told himself and put his forehead against the door. He rocked his head gently back and forth and tightened his hold on the knob. She's fine, she's just sleeping soundly. And when she wakes up, we'll have dinner and be a family, and even without Dad, everything will be fine, just fine." He whispered the words to himself, closed his eyes, and then opened the door with a quiet turn of the knob and stepped through to the other side, closing it just as quietly behind him and putting a welcoming smile on his face before venturing out to welcome the unlooked-for guest. Albert could smell the skewers and see the half-eaten remnants on the plates of the trio at the table. "So I guess you know more now," Albert said, and walked past them into the kitchen. He found a glass plate sitting on the stove wrapped in tin foil with the setting on warm. He tapped the silvery metallic covering with one finger to be sure it was safe, then turned the black knob to off and pulled the plate away. The noise of the tinfoil crinkled audibly while he unwrapped his plate before he balled up the remnant of the cover and tossed it into the trash. "Yeah, it wasn't just her coming to me, I promise you," Lisa said. "She looked down at her plate when she saw him return and take a seat beside Raziel. She shook a little when he didn't sit beside her. It really wasn't... I guess you heard what I said, huh?" "I did," Albert answered and brought the skewer to his mouth. His teeth closed over the surf and turf-style dish and pulled the cheese-coated meat-wrapped meat off of the wooden skewer and onto his tongue. Flavor exploded in his mouth and he leaned back in his chair. "One bite of this, I swear. You must have come from heaven after all," he said, and forced a teasing laugh. "Thank you for saving me a plate, Leala." Before the angel could answer him, Lisa chimed in. "You believe me, don't you?" Albert spoke in a muffled voice. Given the size of the shrimp, he was clearly exaggerating his talking with his mouth full manner of speech, but it was an answer at least when he said, "Yeah, doesn't matter, yeah." He chewed, swallowed, and pointed his still, almost full skewer at Lisa. "You were my best friend. I needed you, and you weren't there. How do I forget that?" Lisa couldn't think of anything to say in answer. She was barely able to meet his eyes. She wrung her hands in her lap. I don't know," she said finally in a very small voice. Leala's wings moved very slightly back and forth, and at last the angel spoke. "The important thing is you're willing to help and keep our little secret. Right?" Leala asked and leaned forward, giving a long, steady look at the young human woman. "Yes. It won't take threats for that," Lisa said, and set her jaw when she held the eyes of the smug-looking demoness. "There's not much else I can tell you, but we've got a saying here." "A saying?" Raziel asked, suddenly curious. She raised a dark eyebrow. "Yeah, it goes, it's not paranoia if they really are out to get you. What Albert's father..." She ran a hand through her hair and took a deep breath. "What I mean is that school is full of people. People as bad as anyone. They're supposed to be neutral, to be fair. But that's a great big pile of nope." Lisa snapped her fingers with a jerk of her hand and shook her head. "If you go in there, get ready for a fight." "What kind of fight?" Raziel gave a wolfish, fang-filled grin and clicked her talons together. "Not that kind." Lisa and Albert insisted at once. "Fine," Raziel grumbled and crossed her arms in front of her chest. "A lot of your problems could be solved if you just let people duel." "Not everything can be solved with violence, Raz." Liala quipped. "And don't tell me that always worked back home, either."
No, I know.
"But sometimes," the demoness retorted, and when silence fell, they went back to the skewers and swiftly emptied their plates. And when that quiet was punctuated only by the sound of quiet chewing on savory skewers, Albert's mind returned to an ugly question.
She stopped about 2 years before coming here. But it's not like I've got no memories of my mom in all that time. She should be there. We don't talk much, but surely—"
He began searching through the days.
No, not yesterday. The day before.
He began to tally the days and search for some recollection of his mother.
Hello, a good morning, Albert.
And for all his searching, he found nothing. Nothing at all. His breath began to quicken, his pulse raced.
Mom, where are you?"
He asked his memory and searched through day after day like pages in a book being flipped through. Quick as cards being shuffled for a game of poker, he searched from moment to moment.
"Come on. Something. A conversation. A late-night talk."
His lower lip began to tremble. Had he not been seated, his body would have collapsed.
"Albert!"
Raziel snapped aloud, breaking the silence. His head turned toward her, and she held up a hand over his face. Her talon-tipped fingers closed over his face.
"Schmack," she said, and his eyes immediately closed.
Lisa shot to her feet. The chair flew back and thudded to the floor. "What did you do to him?" She shrieked and reached out, whether toward Raziel or toward Albert. Before she could reveal her intent, Liala jumped to her feet, sending her chair flying back toward the wall, where it hit with a thud before falling to its side. The angel's hand came up beside Lisa's head, and she spat out a spell. Shasale, Lisa had only a moment to turn and look open-mouthed at the angel before her body began to fall to the floor. Liala didn't waste a moment. She grabbed the girl and pulled her so that Lisa fell into the arms of the angel, who in turn lay her with slow easiness down onto the carpeted floor.
"Raz, what was that?"
Liala exclaimed from down on her knees after laying the girl down. Raziel relaxed her hold on Albert's face and watched his head droop.
"Why did you put him to sleep?"
Liala demanded, but the demoness said nothing. She just kept looking at his quietly breathing, limp body. The demoness put her hand on his cheek. "I'm so sorry, Albert," she said, blinking her blood-red eyes. She whispered, "Xashieros."
"Raz!"
Liala shouted and slammed her hand flat on the table. The plates rattled and the glasses toppled, spilling their untouched contents into a little flood over the center of the table.
"Why did you put him to sleep? Why did you give him an erotic dream just now? What in the 12 circles are you doing? Talk to me!"
The angel shrieked all the more because she caught Raziel's bleak expression, a fang digging into the dark lower lip hard enough that it drew blood, and the demoness either didn't notice or didn't care. The shriek, however, got Raziel's attention, because he was about to realize the truth. I stopped sorting through his memories before his mother killed herself. If I hadn't— She shook her head. He remembers the things we do when we have his body. He'd realize she was dead. He'd see her body all over again, so I stopped looking. I think he realized something was wrong. I think he was searching his memories. He might have heard what Lisa was saying out here. Liala paled in the face, her ruby lips slowly closed. She looked down at the sleeping Lisa and then over toward Albert. "So you just attack him?" "I didn't hurt him. Besides, you attacked her first." Raziel pointed to the sleeping girl. "Or did you think I wouldn't notice your wings moving or your quiet influencing of her emotions? Or his?" "I grew up with you, Lily. I know how much you love being the peacemaker. You were using your natural skills to try to get them to reconnect." "Don't talk to me about how it's wrong to use my skills while it's fine to use yours." "It's not the same." Liala stood up and leaned on the table, wetting her fingers in the spilled, sticky soda. "You've inflicted lust on him, given him dirty dreams, not just put him to sleep. All I did was enhance their natural feelings." "Lust is a natural feeling," Raziel said and straightened her back. She crossed her arms in front of her chest. "Just because your skills don't require a bath to clean up after doesn't mean there's anything wrong with mine. Or are you telling me all these years you've privately thought the same as the rest of them, that I'm dirty?" "No, of course not," Liala snapped. "Don't be stupid." "Then what is it?" Raziel demanded. Her narrowed eyes did not waver from the angel. Her bat wings slowly beat the air behind her. Well, there's only one reason to do that," Liala said, and Raziel shook her head.
No, there isn't, the demoness answered. I can work more easily in his mind if he's aroused. Specifically, I should be able to blend into his dream a little. And do what exactly? Liala demanded, stepping over the sleeping Lisa. She put herself inches away from her sister. Just what are you going to do? She put her hand on Raziel's arm and closed her fingers around the red bicep. Raziel looked down at the hand, which slowly tightened around her arm. I'm going to lay a seal into place. Nothing dramatic, just over the last few hours. If he digs too deep, he'll realize something is seriously wrong, and if he walks into his mother's room, say, now. Just what do you think will happen? I don't know. He'll find the body and maybe... Liala pursed her lips, her hold on her sister's arm relaxed and then dropped away, falling limp at her side. I don't know, Liala repeated herself as all manner of scenarios ran through her head. Raziel's hand reached out and stroked his sandy hair. He snored a little and shifted in his chair while she addressed her sister with a somber, steady stare. Neither do I, and we need time to figure that out. I won't hurt him. I won't even touch him. All he'll remember is having a sexy dream where I made an appearance. In a way, I've been with him since birth now, and I don't want anything bad to happen to him. This is the only solution I can think of. If you don't have a better one, then either help me or get out of the way. I'll help. Then we can take care of Lisa, Liala said, and when Raziel put the sleeping body into her arms, cradling his sleeping body with ease, Liala walked ahead to go and open the door to the bedroom again,